All right.
Move!
All right. Extra content for the people. Oh, my cursor's
Yeah!
stopped. So, today, Jalen, we got the PlayStation Showcase 2021. And this has to be the hypest thing. This was PlayStation's E3. We just happened to get it in September.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Sony came out strong with this. Like, their big developers are all working on some very interesting titles. Like,
That's one of the interesting things. We did, like, the second half of the show was PlayStation Studios, but we only saw Polyphony, Sony Santa Monica, Insomniac. Well,
Insomniac really needs to make sure they can get some sleep. Good God.
Hey, man. They didn't crunch on Ratchet and Clank, so the fact that they've put out 3 games in the last year, and not even a full year, because they did Spider-Man Remastered, which was like a full-on port that they did in-house. They did Spider-Man Miles Morales, which was a from the ground up game, and they did Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And all 3 of those games are high quality.
Right?
So, yeah, like, just looking at the list of studios, it's Insomniac, Polyphony, Spider-Man, Insomniac again, and then Sony Santa Monica. So no Naughty Dog, no London, no Asobi, no... I guess we saw Nix's, because that Uncharted collection was Nix's, which is a developer they just bought that specializes in porting things to PC. But
Which, good.
yes, awesome. So this opening part for me was just like, yeah, y'all have been playing checkers, we've been playing chess. And I feel like they just set it up with the energy of like, this is like, PlayStation is a prestige thing for a reason. Like,
It is.
I've seen so many people on like Twitter and in like reactions to this today be like, yeah, but you're going to have to buy all those games. And if they were on Xbox, they'd be on Game Pass. I'm like, but these games aren't on Xbox, and Game Pass legitimately doesn't have anything on this level. So I think we're getting into it. I have it muted so it doesn't like completely ruin the thing. But so they're showing like a sizzle reel of things that have come out so far, and then I guess we have subtitles of what Jim Ryan, president and CEO of Sony Entertainment, has to say. But while he's talking, what did you think of the showcase overall?
You know, I liked it. It's what I need to see from Sony to keep me interested in them. They're really selling this PS5, but then I can't help but be a little annoyed with the unavailability of the doggone console.
Well, and I completely get that. And
Like,
I
that's
mean,
the most frustrating thing about it, because it's like, yeah, that's cool. It's real. Like, all this stuff is cool. You're selling some really cool stuff, but what am I supposed to do with it?
So the interesting thing is we had towards the end, so Horizon's coming to PS4 and PS5. So is God of War and Gran Turismo. So of the big first party games that they have coming out within the next year and a half, all of those are playable on PS4. So,
Right.
and they're all a $10 upgrade to PS5.
I personally don't see myself as a person who's really going to spend any of the stuff that they've shown today. When I get a PS5, if I don't already own it, I'm not upgrading it. I mean, if I own it and I've already beaten it, I'm not upgrading it.
No. Well, I mean,
Personally.
and I get that. So this KOTOR thing,
I nearly lost my marbles.
Dude.
Like, I nearly went out the window when I first saw that. I was like,
I was at work and I had it, like, I have YouTube Premium because of Discord, and, like, I had my phone in my pocket and I heard it happen. And, like, on my watch, I'm getting Twitter notifications of stuff that's going on. I'm like, wow. So the KOTOR thing is PlayStation console launch exclusive. I'm like, they might have sold Jalen in the long run.
That's a hilarious piece of irony because the original was
an
Xbox exclusive. Well, console exclusive.
Yeah, that was just a straight up, console straight up exclusive because it never came to PlayStation. And this one's coming to PlayStation first. And they made it seem like it was an actual exclusive in the presentation, but in the news, because every time they do something like this, there's just like, Twitter's like, okay, this game's confirmed. Here goes a bunch of info. Dude, this thing?
And also, let's just be 100 here. A company, because remember, a company like Disney isn't going to do... No, forget. No one's going to do a single console exclusive on a remake of something like KOTOR. Like, the amount of money that they would have to give into that development team for that would have been astronomical. Because it's KOTOR. And also, Disney needs more good Star Wars games.
Yeah. This game here, so I'm looking, we got KOTOR PS5 exclusive. The notes I took for this game were Sun High Legend is having a wet dream. I'm getting seriously huge Nier vibes. And that is called Project Eve. This right here just looks so ridiculously good. This is one of those third-party games that it's like, yeah, I need this in my repertoire. Like, everything you showed me, I am here for. I want to play this game. It looks ridiculous. And I mean, like, you're slashing, you got a little robot companion. Like, the environment's, it looks like Nier.
I thought I recognized this company, this team. I thought I recognized them. They make a gacha game that I used to play.
What game is that?
Or the company has the gacha game that I used to play. It's called Destiny Child. Shift Up Corporation who's doing this? Yeah.
I think I've seen you play Destiny Child.
It's the horniest. It was the horniest thing on my phone.
Oh. I think you told me to download it, so I might have it installed, but just legitimately never opened it.
Right.
Dude, this game, like...
It looks good.
It looks just so ridiculously amazing. And it's doing all the things I want out of a game. This and Forspoken are like... the games. Like Spider-Man, God of War, all of that, super cool and super interesting, but oof. This sequence right here, the fact that all of this is in engine is just insane. Oh, I guess they're not fighting in the tunnel. Or was it just shorter? It felt like it was going on for a second. For me, earlier.
When you watch it the first time, it's real intense, and you're caught up, and you're like, "Oh snap, she's in that tunnel for a minute."
Right. I
want to play it. It looks good.
Finishers, yeah, like whatever this is, this could be like the most Code Vein, like generic whatever. At the end of the day, it looks cool as hell. So
I'm saying this right now. I expect that game to be quite horny, though.
Yeah, obviously. Like, I see the energy.
I mean, there's a reason she glistens so much. There's a reason.
All right, so now we're getting to the part where I really started feeling like this was meant for E3. So, Tiny Tina Wonderlands. I think this is the first time they showed gameplay of it. And, yeah. I mean, for Borderlands fans, cool. How do you feel as a D&D fan?
Here's the thing about it. The setup is perfect. The fact that, like, I've heard some of the voice lines and heard Tiny Tina D. It's one of those things where it's like, if I cared about Borderlands and I cared about his characters a bit more, I would be all over this. Like, if they did this but made it Saints Row, right now. But it's Borderlands, so I don't care as much.
Lots of guns. That shot right there, I know they have like powers and guns, but that gave me BioShock vibes. I looked at that and I was like,
Siren feels like that. Siren feels like that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like, I technically have all of them, but have played very little of any of them to get to the point that I really feel like I have a spec'd out character or anything like that. But the fact that they're giving me BioShock vibes, giving me Diablo vibes, like Borderlands is like, I know it's like looter shooter and Diablo and all of that, but loot. That was one of my favorite parts of this trailer.
Oh yeah.
Say loot and have a dude rocking out on the loot. But
Hey, Butt Stallion's back.
Oh, is that like a thing?
In the second game, Handsome Jack had a horse, a unicorn, and named it Butt Stallion, just to remind everyone of the humor of these games.
I mean, yeah. Tiny Tina is something that, for me, she's a character that I've known from Borderlands and seems like a cool character. And the fact that, and the things because she's had like her own DLCs before, right?
Yes.
I feel like there's been Tiny Tina like things before, but the fact that she's getting a game like take Borderlands out of the vault hunting, and make it more of a like a arcadey thing than it already is. I mean, it's already really arcadey, but I mean, you know, I'm all for it, and I know Borderlands fans are probably like, shit, it's more Borderlands. Right. So this Forspoken, formerly known as Project Althea. We now know it's an isekai, and her method of being isekai'd is a tunnel, according to the Beyond the Bot isekai scale.
Well, when people get isekai, well, yeah.
Yeah.
She took the portal route, not the... That's the question. Is it isekai via isekai or isekai via reincarnation? Nope, isekai via isekai.
Yeah,
okay.
She didn't die. She was safe and then was teleported to somewhere safe. And the one thing that I don't like about this game is that it seems like they're just like, we want to curse as much as possible. I'm like, the first time it was okay. Like every time we've gotten a trailer since it was named Forspoken, there's been something, right? Goddamn right. Asshole, show yourself. Like, nobody talks like that. Especially when you don't know who you're talking to.
At least not that unearned.
Right. But I mean, everything about this, it's like, I remember when it was Project Althea and people were thinking it was Final Fantasy 16 before we got Final Fantasy 16 announced. And I mean, just the particle effects, I'm looking, every time I look over at the Discord call, I'm like, oh, it's painful. But I highly recommend, I haven't said it yet, but I recommend go watch this in the highest fidelity possible that you can watch this on your own, because it's a banger. I think that's one thing, like a lot of these digital presentations lately, it's like some of them we totally didn't need. A lot of them is like, oh, look at these powers. Look at this combo system, dude.
Yeah, it's very flashy. I like the way the animations are. The particle effects, like this is the thing about the PS4 is that clearly they're like, we can do particle effects really well with this machine. All the particle effects, because everything they've shown had a lot of freaking either particle effects or some sort of a shine to it. You know what I'm saying? Like everything looks like it's been brushed in oil just a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing that I noticed watching this, so I kind of like halfway watched it at work, and then I got home and I watched it on my monitor. I was flipping it between the 4K and the high refresh rate monitor, and all of this is running like minimum 60. So I feel like this is one of the least interesting things for me, but I know this is in here because it appeals to people. Like, there are Rainbow Six Siege fans that are ready to hop in and play this.
Oh no, actually, if this is quarantine, the Siege community is not pleased with it from the beta that they played.
Oh,
From what I've seen of the whatever alpha, beta, or whatever, when some players got to get their hands on it, none of them really had any good things to say about it.
Okay, well, I'm not in that community, so I wasn't going to play it anyway, but I mean, you know, hopefully Rainbow Six Siege also came out bad for Rainbow Six fans. And then they turned that game around.
Rainbow Six was never a freaking online only multiplayer game. It wasn't an esport game.
Now
it's
it's
closer
more
to
so
what the original Rainbow Six is. Because that's the thing about it, is Rainbow Six was about taking a small squad, you and a small squad, going into a building, shooting up the place, doing your dirt, and getting out.
Right. What was the last Rainbow Six before Siege? Was it Vegas?
Yes. It was Vegas 2.
Okay. So yeah, I could see that being super jarring. Going... Because, like, I didn't play Vegas, but what I know of seeing it, like, just it being into games and that being a game that's around, like, it's a really interesting shift going to from Vegas 2 to Siege. These transitions...
But actually, the last thing I have to say about Vegas is Vegas 2 came out in 2007. The last time we got like a traditional Rainbow Six game.
But I mean, since
that long ago.
Wait.
I mean 2008, my bad. It came out 2008, it was announced 2007.
I'm trying to think. What were Ghost Recon?
You're thinking of Ghost Recon when it went the Ubisoft model into instead of becoming a whole open world thing full of maps and stuff.
Well, yeah, I just know the last couple Ghost Recon. Well, no. The most recent Ghost Recon, Breakpoint,
yeah.
Either it hasn't come out or it came out and legitimately nobody has said anything about that game.
It came out, nobody liked it because it was because they tried to turn it into some looter shooter nonsense and nobody liked it.
But the one before that, Wildlands, I heard really good things about Wildlands. I kind of wanted to get Chris into it and, like, try and run that with Chris, but that didn't work. And I mean, in Tom Clancy, so Alan Wake Remastered is showing.
Yeah, it's Alan Wake Remaster. It's like, if you haven't played Alan Wake, it's good. If you haven't played Alan Wake but you liked Control, play the remaster.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you enjoyed Control, play the remaster.
They showed GTA 5, which was the one that GTA 5 was the lowest point in the last one.
I mean, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to convince me to care about anything Rockstar does unless they actually announce GTA 6. And they're not, because they need to make sure GTA Online is still available and still selling.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's on PC. The fact that the instant character switching, like, that is one thing I remember.
I like the zoom out, zoom in.
Yeah, it's doing zoom out, zoom in, but it's not hovering in the air, processing,
no, but
loading,
that's the thing about
loading.
That helped me figure out where the FI was in Los Santos.
I think it'll be fine either way. They just showed GTA Online.
I don't play GTA 5 now, and I'm not going to be playing it on the PS5 I don't own.
I don't know if it's a free upgrade, because I'd give it a spin on this new generation, but I'm not buying GTA 5 again.
Well, let's put it this way. They didn't do a free upgrade when it went to PS3 to PS4.
Yeah, but you couldn't play the PS3 version on a PS4 or the Xbox 360 version on an Xbox One. You can play the PS4 version on a PS5 and the Xbox One version on a Series X. So that's the difference. So now Ghostwire, I know the episode's not out yet. We're not even streaming this. So yeah, in the last episode from last night, we were talking like we might get more Ghostwire. For me, Ghostwire, like the first time we saw it, it looked early, but even in this showcase, it's probably the earliest looking game, and I know it's probably not. It's probably sooner than some of these other games that just have a more polished presentation.
Oh no, I'm expecting this late 2020 at best. I mean, late 2022 at best. Bleh.
Yeah. Considering they haven't said it's 2022, it really could be like an early 2023. Or they could just hold this game forever. I feel like Microsoft's trying to get it out. You know? That's why they show...
This is a Bethesda game.
Yeah. Tango Gameworks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks cool. Probably, like, I gotta hear what Chris has to say about it. But it has some really, like, interesting, cool-looking things.
It looks cool. I like the,
It's like a horror anime.
What are the name of those Doctor Who freaking... The Silence. They got some Silence-looking enemies in that, like...
They got Slender Man.
Right?
I mean, you know, it's here. These transitions, they're just so visually pleasing. I'd take a, like, music visualizer. So the amount of Marvel pops in this thing are ridiculous. So we have Eidos Montreal and their Guardians of the Galaxy game. Showed some new footage considering the last time we saw this game was at that Square Enix thing, and they showed the same footage like 4 times in different contexts. So it's cool to get some of the like narrative of the game. It's like a story trailer, has some gameplay. But all of this stuff, like I have a note in here that says end pre-show. I feel like all of this was like obligations. It's all third-party stuff. It's all like when Nintendo has this third-party presentations and they just show things that they're obligated to show. That's what this feels like. This feels like if we got this in June or July, it would have been part of Summer Games Fest and been part of E3. And a lot of the things we're seeing here, we saw there. So like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I mean, this is pretty much just showing, hey...
Rainbow Six, like Alan Wake. If this were in the summer, we would have gotten all of these things.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if Sony was like going to be at E3, we not even at E3, but
Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, we would have just saw this there.
Except maybe the stuff at the end, because the fact that all the stuff is coming from studios that we know there's only really one thing towards the end of this that we didn't know was being worked on. And I mean, that's Wolverine, and we'll get there when we get there, but we knew God of War Ragnarok was being worked on before it was even announced. And I just technically got its name today. We knew Spider-Man 2 was being made. We knew Gran Turismo was coming. So yeah, the only thing that was really that wasn't in public consciousness, I mean, so far, KOTOR, because we know that because we're like following game news, but KOTOR, how do you feel about this vampire game?
That is not the one I want.
What is this?
It's a freaking battle royale.
Seriously? It's 2021. Like seriously?
See, you're picking out your classes. Like, this is a battle royale.
A class-based battle? What the fuck? Like, I watched it and I was like, oh, like, I get it's a multiplayer thing, but I didn't get
No, this is a battle royale where you're playing as different members of the vampire clans.
This is fucking some shit, man.
Right.
I mean, like, sure, if this happened 3 years ago, it might have been something, but...
I mean, I'm going to say this right now. For any franchise to have a battle royale, this is the last one I would have picked. Or one of the last ones I would have picked.
But I mean, I guess everything technically over the course of time got a battle royale, but the only ones that stuck around were Apex, Fortnite, PUBG, and
Warzone.
I was like, I know there's another one. Deathloop again.
Yeah,
Really, PlayStation? Really, again.
I mean, is that the only exclusive they got this year?
I mean, we got Ratchet and Clank earlier.
I keep forgetting that came out this year.
Returnal. And I mean, yeah, we got.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought Returnal came out last year.
No, Returnal came out last year. The console came out, and it was Demon's
I thought
Souls
it was a
and
launch
Miles.
title.
No, Returnal was like a month before Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we got the Ghost upgrade, and then we got the Death Stranding upgrade. But, dude, like, even the people who are excited for Deathloop are like, why do we keep seeing this? We get it. You're in a time loop. There's an assassin that's one step ahead of you. That
was an old friend of yours that you're beefing now.
Right. Well, he doesn't know who she is. Like, that's one of the things. I don't know if they've known that he lost his memories, because he sees a poster of him as the security chief for the island. But he doesn't remember that. I mean, it looks cool. Like, this is an Arcane game, and it has a more interesting style to me than Whale Punk. So,
I mean, yeah, it's just it's very Dishonored. Like, you could see how this is just evolved off of the Dishonored art style.
Right, this is the next gen Dishonored, but it's not Whale Punk. It's a different, like, aesthetic. I don't even know what to call this, like 60s future? Like,
well, it's just an alternate, like, just an alternative 60s aesthetic.
Yeah. See, yeah, the head of security poster that he sees himself in is just like, how many Deathloop trailers are we going to get? I feel like if you're excited for this game, you could watch probably over an hour of, like, footage from this game.
Right, at this point, I don't want to see anything else, because I'm not going to...
Dude, I
would have felt like I've seen everything.
Dude, I would have been past the seeing too much... I passed the point of seeing too much of this game 6 months ago.
Yeah, 2 showcases ago.
And we keep getting these extended looks and these... And so this... Have you heard...
Oh, the Radiohead thing.
Yeah, I think this is... Yeah. Kid Amnesia? Or Kid Amnesia?
Mm-hmm.
They have an album that's Kid A? Or something like that?
Yep.
And this is going to be like a PS5 exclusive experience around it. I mean, PlayStation always does weird stuff like this, kind of. We get at least a couple of generation of just like...
That, but and I'm also happy with it, because it's like, gaming as a medium can do so much. And it's nice to see someone trying to actually do something with it.
It's epic. The fact that it's Epic and Radiohead...
Oh, well, actually, then this makes even more sense, especially after the Fortnite MLK thing.
Right, yeah. That's what I was saying in that episode, is that Fortnite did a lot of that. They've had Ariana Grande, they've had Travis Scott, they've had Will Smith, and all types of shit in that game. LeBron James. And they've tried to have... That's why it's referred to as a metaverse, because it's not a game. Like, sure, their Battle Royale is a game mode that's in it, but Fortnite is like a social space. And so, what's this game called? Tchia?
Yeah.
Is this the only indie at this entire thing? And this might be like kind of AAA, and we just don't know. I
mean, it could be a AA game. Remember the good old middle market games that we all used to love?
Yeah.
I.e., pretty much every single good game back in the day. Most of the best games were middle market.
So, I mean, it's like they definitely played Breath of the Wild. Her friend looks like Link. She has a paraglider. Looks like there are going to be dungeons. You got Wind Waker earlier with the boat. So,
Yeah.
I like the fact that PlayStation isn't going to ever hit us with something where it's like without something small and charming like this. Because I know there are a lot of people that live for this stuff. And, not everything has to be flip, explosion, parry.
Right? Heck, I want to assume direct control over a bird and pet a crab.
And then become that crab.
Then become that crab.
This is just wild. What's that dude's name? Not Peter Molyneux. The Beyond Good and Evil 2 guy.
No, that was... Oh,
Michel Ancel.
Yeah.
So yeah. This is basically the end of the pre-show for me. They showed Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy are getting PS5 and PC ports.
Good.
Hopefully, free or $10 upgrade for someone like
no,
me.
Those are whole ass remasters. Those aren't going to be upgrades. Those are whole ass remasters. Because you're getting both games. It's not going to be an upgrade of... Because remember, originally they were sold separately.
Yeah, I mean, I bought them separately.
Yeah, and now you're buying them again in one package.
No, I'm not.
Well, you could if you were interested.
I was about to say, this is one of those, it'll be 4 years from now on PlayStation Plus, and it'll be like, didn't even get to them the first time, and Uncharted 2 is one of my favorite games.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it on PC. I really think Sony needs to... I encourage Sony putting more of their games on PC, not because this would make it easier for me to play them, but also because that's another install base that you have access to.
Yeah, that and they bought Nix's, and Nix's is known for porting console-developed games to PC in a quality way, and the fact they've brought Horizon, technically 505 brought over Death Stranding. We've had a lot of the PS5 games that have been exclusive. You could see especially PS4 stuff, because Ghost of Tsushima has been rumored, Gran Turismo, like all of these games, Demon Souls, all of these games could potentially
let's just be 100 here. Every single PlayStation 4 exclusive at some point was rumored to be getting a PC port. I mean, hence the reason every single time Sony has a showcase, Bloodborne starts trending.
Well, the Bloodborne thing was never confirmed. That was just...
No, I didn't say it was confirmed or anything. I said every single PS4 game at some point was rumored to be getting a PC port.
Dude, this Marvel
this
pop,
right here, I was looking at it like,
is
this Spider-Man 2? And then I saw the damage, I was like, what? But then once I saw that flannel, I was like, Logan? Because Logan's the only Marvel character that wears flannel consistently.
Oh yeah, I saw his hands, and I was like... I don't see the, scars, but I know that he doesn't, get scars from the things. But the fact that it was PlayStation Studios, and then Insomniac, and then Marvel, and then it just fucking Wolverine, yes. This is one of those moments that just had me this is why I'm a gamer. PlayStation Studios. All of these things get this PlayStation Studio front end thing, and it's just PlayStation Studios games are a thing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Microsoft's billion-dollar acquisitions that have not yet to fully release everything yet. Last generation, Sony had the strongest first-party developers. That was just what it was. And I'm happy to see these, and I love it because I'm happy to see these studios get the resources and the environment to make bangers.
Yeah. And the fact that the things they've been buying lately aren't even top tier,
they're not even AAA studios, they're more infrastructure things. We can actually port our games to PC if we felt like it.
They bought Asobi to do more 3D platformer, Astro's Playroom kind of stuff. They bought supposedly Bluepoint's gonna happen. I'm surprised we didn't get any non-game related news of this, and I thought we'd at least get something.
Yeah.
But Gran Turismo 7 looking amazing. Sugoi,
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready. Their UI and their just like menu system has always been really good. And the fact that everything seems fast, because that's always the thing with Gran Turismo, is like there's so much going on in the game, everything takes a while to load. But the fact they just show you like scrolling through stuff that would have been like a doom, wait for it to load.
I also
Doom,
feel like
wait
that's
for
the
it to
biggest
load.
selling point of the console. It's not even the games; it's how fast everything loads, how snappy everything is.
Right, but for a direct comparison, like I have Gran Turismo Sport, and playing Gran Turismo Sport is like a cumbersome experience, and just 1-to-1 the next game in the series just yeah, SSD is one of the things. Playing games off of SSD and having anytime I've played something backwards compatible consistently, so like when I was doing my Sekiro streams, when I was playing the Division 2, I'd put those games on the SSD and you'd see how much faster they'd load. Like it was like a night and day difference. But yeah. And I'm sure like Gran Turismo always looks great. It's just going to look consistently even more great. Hopefully they have the infrastructure to port a bunch of the cars.
Oh yeah.
But, well, they didn't have the infrastructure. That's why Gran Turismo Sport took so long. And Gran Turismo 6 came out after the PS4 was already out on PS3. Because they didn't have the infrastructure to port stuff forward. And so hopefully with all the stuff they did with Sport, dude, I thought this was infamous.
I got distracted. I'm sorry, but this is it.
I thought this was infamous.
Nah.
Like first blush.
Yeah, when you first.
Yeah, then they hit you with the carbon fiber spider.
Right.
I almost wore my Spider-Man
They
shirt.
got the tag team. I said
Yes.
this when Spider-Man PS4 first came out. The sequel will be Miles and Peter tag team and Venom. I said it.
Yeah, this is going to be... And the fact that it's still going to be a single-player thing, it's going to be nuts.
Right.
Have you still not played Miles Morales?
No.
Super good.
Oh, I mean, of course. It's the boy.
Yeah, and that one, if you got it now on PS4, it'd be a free upgrade on PS5. I want to say you can get that game as low as 40, because I think it came out at like 50. You might be able to get it like 30-something, honestly. The white spider on the black background. Spider-Man 2. It's just... Spider-Man 2 has like a connotation that somehow... as strong as just the name Spider-Man. What are you looking at? You looking for deals on Miles Morales?
No, not at all.
They just hit us with so much in this last part.
Like once they hit Gran Turismo, they're like, okay, we're gonna just start.
No, it was after
one
Uncharted,
after the other.
But Wolverine was before Gran Turismo 7, and like Gran Turismo is there for people like me who like.
I mean, not Gran Turismo. I meant Uncharted. I meant the Uncharted.
Yeah, when they had Herman Hulst come out, like they had Jim Ryan, who's Sony, and then they had Herman Hulst, who is PlayStation Studios, and oh man, God of War. So much in this trailer is just like, yes, please and thank you right now. Like, we got more information out of it. Like, they showed Thor's design, and they showed, like, the female at the end of the trailer is one of the last giants. But, man, this was one of those trailers that I watched. Like, it had all this cinematic, and it had, like, a little bit of humor. But the thing I'm excited for out of this game is the combat, because the combat in the last one felt so incredibly good. And the Leviathan axe, just... the first moment he throws it, it hits some people, and he pulls it back. That shit never gets old.
In my opinion, the combat in God of War, in God of War,
yeah,
is one of those things that it just improves. So it just gets so smooth once you have the full kit. Like, once you have Kratos' full kit, you're just out there getting ignorant.
Yeah, but you were going stupid.
Now it's like, and he can do even more with it.
The first fight, the Baldur fight, even from there, it felt crazy
was cool,
good.
But it's like, it's nothing like the second one where you have Kratos' full kit. That's the thing about it. It's like, in the beginning, you're a strong guy with an axe. At the end of it, it's like, oh no, you're literally a god of war. It is just. And I love with this sequel, you can see how all of the abilities
right here,
so perfectly into each other.
I mean, that was the thing that I loved about the combat in the first one.
Yeah, but I feel like, it doesn't really come into play until the end. That's my thing. It's like, from here, it looks like you get the full kit from the beginning.
Yeah.
And you get to just go buck wild.
You had your axe and your shield from the beginning, and then you got the blades, and that was a spoiler until now. Now, if you've seen this trailer, you know he gets the blades.
Right. And also, the boy can ride his spirits now? Like, yo!
Tyr, the Norse god of war, is going to be joining them on their adventure. Dude.
Right.
So, apparently, it's not going to be a trilogy. It was, and she's
okay
one of the last giants. But let me see. That's it.
Heck, I'm okay with that. Not everything has to be a trilogy, you know.
Yeah, I thought they'd do another trilogy, but it's good that we're going to be getting Thor and Odin and
yeah, like I will say this. Trilogies are really, really hard. They're the hardest things to make. You know? It's hard enough to get a good sequel. Like, getting a solid duology is already just a pain in the behind. But getting a good trilogy is almost impossible. That's
PlayStation Studios, man. Like, when I see that, that is like when I'm watching something and the Marvel MCU thing happens beforehand. It's just kind of like a moment. And it's something that even people who aren't gamers, I feel like, now that they have this unified branding, PlayStation Studios is something that people get what that means when it's put on a game.
Yep. I mean, it's the PlayStation equivalent of the Nintendo seal of approval that all the great Nintendo games had back in the day. You know?
I won't say these games are better, but you know, these games are top shelf shit.
That wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fair. That there'd be,
because we're talking about Nintendo side. Most of the games we're talking about with that seal are like over a decade old.
Coming up on 3 decades.
Do the Nintendo seal of approval anymore?
No, they haven't done the Nintendo seal. The last time we probably got Nintendo seal of approval was GBA, and like GameCube.
See what I'm saying?
But yeah, I don't think that was a thing on like Wii or Wii U or Switch.
Oh, actually, fun fact about Wolverine. He makes it a point. The reason why he makes it a point to curl up his hands like this, because if he doesn't, the knives will come out of his palms.
I'm trying to see that in combat, you know?
That it doesn't, it's not effective. He literally says, "Oh, I shinked myself."
And I mean, if Insomniac's doing it, they did Spider-Man and Miles Morales so well that...
I mean, heck, X-Men Origins Wolverine, the game is amazing. The movie, garbage. The game, though? The game is a sleeper hit. That game is slept on. That game
I did like Ryan Reynolds in that movie. That's the only thing I remember about that movie.
There was, until they sewed his mouth shut.
Right, which is the last thing you should ever do to Ryan Reynolds.
Especially when he's playing Deadpool.
Was that Deadpool?
Yes!
And is the current Deadpool a canonical continuation?
No.
Okay.
No. No one acknowledges X-Men Origins Wolverine. Like, actually, even Fox don't even acknowledge the Fox stuff.
You mean Disney? Remember, Disney bought Fox.
Until Disney actually does something with the X-Men, I'm going to still say acknowledging the Fox stuff. Because at the end of the day, those are the only X-Men movies we got.
Yeah. I'm kind of stoked. I think they could do a really good X-Men like animated thing.
I mean, heck, I'm gonna be 100. If they just did X-Men Evolutions again, I'd be so happy. That show was a banger.
Yeah. There's a lot they could do with the X-Men, and the fact that they.
I mean, there's a million. I mean, heck, I'm gonna be 100 here. I would just do all the new stuff. I would say screw all that old Mutant stuff that they dealt with in the past, and go straight to like the new Krakoan stuff that they're doing now. Do some of the Age of X stuff.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Well, unless you got some more stuff, like we covered the PlayStation presentation, got a solid 45 minutes.
Heck, I'm with it. It was solid showcase. I like what I saw. My problem with Sony remains the availability of the consoles.
Yeah, but I mean that's their parking lots full of cars that are completely assembled and are just missing chips. And so
I know the chip shortage is bad, but for Sony I specifically blame scalpers. Specifically.
Scalpers, that's the thing. If you were to go to eBay, Amazon, StockX, Craigslist, wherever scalpers are selling these consoles, right?
Right.
The value of them are going down, which means more people are more consistently being able to get them for market price.
Or the fact that they're not getting their return on investments fast enough and things are coming up. Because remember, they still had to buy all those consoles at full price.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're selling a digital edition for twice the value...
Yeah.
And they were selling at that price. The fact that the price is going down means availability is going up for the general consumer. I don't
necessarily believe that. I think their timetables are running up. I think the amount of time that they need to get that. Because that's also the thing about scalping is scalping isn't a long con. It's a quick buck.
Right.
And I think the fact that, I think they're getting timed out. I think they're running out of time. Like, heck, the model that they're even trying to sell is not even the model that Sony's selling anymore.
Well, Sony's still selling the original models here in the States. Okay. Both the disc and digital editions are the exact same spec.
No, I meant the heat sink, the different heat sink and the whatnot.
That's just in Japan and Australia in the digital edition.
Okay.